So you can hear me, you can see the website. I see a couple of you can't see it. Sometimes what will happen is it won't work. So if you can't see it, go ahead and exit the webinar and then come back in. Yes, the webinar will be in listen only. Your microphones won't be going. You'll just be stuck with my voice. But if you have not been in a Silhouette webinar before, hi, my name is Lisa. I am the marketing manager here at the Rhinestone World, but I am also the big silhouette enthusiast here. They call me the Silhouette Queen or the Craft Queen, whichever one you prefer. If any of you were in our lounge last week, I did have a cold last week, so I'm still recovering. So if you hear my voice cut out, that just means that I was coughing and I muted my microphone. So I thought I'd spare you those details. So it looks like we have a good amount in here. I did start a little bit later because I know 12 o'clock can get a little bit crazy. Over here, everyone's funneling out for lunch, so it's a good time for me to do a webinar because, you know, everyone's out stomping around. Nick will be joining us shortly to answer some questions for you. Feel free to ask any questions you would like. I'll try to get to them, and if I can't get to them, Nick will answer them for you. So I'm just going to show you a couple things. Are any of you in the Arlington area? Were any of you able to go to our show, the NBM show in Arlington? Or are any of you trying to make one of our other shows? Okay, so it looks like you're going to try to make a couple of them. I'm going to jump over here. This is our show schedule. So right now we're at Arlington, but if you're ever looking for an opportunity to see us at a show, we do have our schedule here, and we do have information. So if we do have a seminar, you'll see what it is and how to register for it. There will be a couple of them that you can't register for quite yet because it's not open. But if you're ever looking for a show, go ahead and look here. If you can see that we have our shows planned through February of 2016. We are working on a full schedule too, so make sure you keep checking back here because we are updating this pretty frequently. So if you don't have a chance to see us, you might be able to see us again sometime. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today's webinar is a short webinar. It's only 30 minutes because I am showing you one thing. So feel free to ask me any questions you would like, or if you wanted me to go over anything. And also let me know if I do talk too fast. I have been told that I speak quickly, but I have also been told that I don't speak as fast as Rudy and Matt. So I guess that works out a little bit in my favor. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is I like to call them begin-intermediate webinars. These are for those of you who already have a basic knowledge of the Silhouette Studio software. Are all of you using the Designer Edition, or are some of you still in Silhouette Studio? Or I know last webinar on Wednesday, a couple of you were actually using Business Edition. What version of Silhouette are you all using? Okay, so it looks like a good amount of you are in Designer Edition. Yes, great. I love Designer Edition. The big thing, I bet you'll never guess, but the big thing I love about it is that you can do rhinestones. So who would have thought we'd like the rhinestone feature here at the Rhinestone World? So if you look over on my screen, I am actually using our Silhouette Studio Business Edition. It's not too much different from the Designer Edition. It's something that we're kind of testing out here to see the benefits of it. So there won't be too much of a difference. You'll still be able to follow along with me. The top bar is the same. So are all of you familiar with knockout designs? Have you guys seen them before? You probably see them a lot on our website for our Corel drawn stone wizard. So, okay, you've seen them. They look nice. Actually, the knockout design is actually a pretty easy design to make. It seems like it would be complicated, but it's only a few steps. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you how to do a knockout design. My trademark here at the Rhinestone World is we have a lot of men here. and we do a lot of masculine sports designs. I don't know if you've noticed that, but we are very sports focused. That's kind of Matt's passion there. He was a coach. He's very active in sports. His kids are in sports, so they do have a lot of sports designs. Matt does love baseball, but I am the Pinterest queen. Whenever anyone sees something that even is remotely crafty, they come to me and try to get me to make it for them. So my trademark in these webinars is I like to make the girly stuff. So this might be a little bit different than what you're used to with Matt, but I think it'll work out pretty well. So what I'm going to do is, if any of you have been in my webinars before, you know I love anchors. So I'm going to do a knockout design that features an anchor. I'm sure you've seen it before, but I'm going to go ahead and type out refuse to sink. So for knockout designs, we try to recommend using a block font, something that's nice and thick, because you need to see the design you're knocking out. You need to see that in your text. You need something that's nice and thick, nothing too thin, because you'll lose some of the effect of what you're working with. So we always like using impact here. So I'm going to go ahead and select my impact over here, and I'm going to go ahead and type. And so I hit enter, so it has my font selected. So I'm going to type in refuse, and I'm going to type in all caps. So I have refuse right here, and I'm going to start a new line because I want to sync to be below. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here and select impact again, hit return, and then 2, and then I'm going to hit another one because I want to make the spacing the way I want it, and then go ahead and type in impact again, and then sync. So here we have refuse to sync over here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring these a little bit closer, and I want to work with it a little bit larger. So I'm going to stretch this out, and I'm going to grab both of these and move these out of the way a little bit. So I'm going to stretch this out so we can see what we're working with a lot better. And then there's a little bit more space here. When you work with a knockout design, you want to get your letters really close together, because then you have more continuity in the design that you're knocking out inside of it. So I'm going to go ahead and select this again and double click it. So double clicking, I have all of my text selected. The screen box shows that I'm editing my text. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this character spacing down. Sometimes my Silhouette Studio is very ambitious. So, you know, sometimes it requires a light touch. I don't know if you ever have that, but you can just bring it in, and I'm going to just drag that in a little bit, and got to leave a little bit of space to weed it. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to grab our 2 sync, and I'm just going to move my arrows to bring them a little bit closer. And the reason why I have these separated is, you'll see in a minute, I need to adjust the character spacing on these as well. And sometimes it kind of doesn't do what I want it to do. So I'm just going to stretch this out. And, you know, I want both of these on the same line. So our 2 sync will be slightly, the font size will be slightly smaller than our refuse, just so it'll fit the same area. And like before, I'm going to grab this sync and bring my character spacing down just a little bit. And the same thing with 2. And if you ever want to click on your text and edit it right away, you can double click it. You don't have to go there and hit text and hit edit. So I'm going to grab this, and just going to stretch it out just a little bit more. So we have that. So now we have this. I'm going to group 2 sync so that stays together. So I'm going to go object group, or you can do Control G. I love shortcuts, but I'm just going to go ahead and show that out to you. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my alignment tools, and I just want to align this on the center. And then once again, with knockout designs, you want your text pretty close together. So I'm going to bring this up right up on the refuse. If you can see, I am going to leave, I am going to leave a line so I can weed it. So just bring that up a little bit. It is centered, but I think I'm actually going to bring this over a little bit. I want this T to align with my R. So I'm going to bring this over, and I'll probably shrink this down just a little bit. So now we have our words, and I always like to group these so it's easier to work with. So go ahead, object group, and then we'll fill this in. So now we have the first step done. This is the message that you'll have with this. And so with refuse to sink, we're going to put in my favorite, an anchor. So I have this already in my library. You can grab an anchor, whichever file you have, or you can always trace one. But just for the ease of the webinar, I went ahead and put it in my library, so I already had it for you. So now we have our anchor. I'm going to scale it up a little bit. And I'm actually going to rotate it. I want it at an angle. So this little green dot right here, this is how you rotate it. So I'm going to grab this green dot and I'm just going to turn it a little bit. And then I'm going to put this in here and kind of see what works best. Go ahead and take this box and expand this. And when you do want to stretch out a shape, make sure you do grab it in the corner because it keeps it proportional. You don't want your shape to get distorted. So if you do the side, it will stretch out. You don't want that. So always make sure you grab it in the corner. You want it to stay proportionate. And so now I'm just finding a good spot to put my anchor. Here I can stretch it out a little bit more. And I'm just using my arrows to adjust. So you want, I always try to make sure the corners are somewhat in a word because you want to see the anchor stretching. So I think I'm going to actually shrink this down a little bit to get a better view of that bar there. So I'm going to go over here and you can adjust it as you see. And so I think this looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And so you see we have our refuse to sink right there. So now I need to duplicate this. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to select both of these. So you could either go through your panel up here to duplicate. I personally like to just copy and paste. So I have it copied and paste. And I'm just going to bring this down here out of the way. So now I need to modify this. I need to get my anchor shape that goes in the words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these together. So now you can see my anchor is selected and my copy is selected. And now we go up to our modify. And now we are going to crop. So now it took out where the words are in this anchor, and the anchor took on the shape of the words. So I'm going to go back. You have this, and then crop. So whenever you do a modify and it breaks up a shape, whether you're subtracting it or cropping it, it will make each part of the shape its own property. So to make sure you keep it proportionate and you make it easy to work with, you do want to group that. So make sure as soon as you do that, you do group it. And now I'm just going to make that blue again so I can work with it better. So now we have our blue and we have our anchor. So we're done with that part. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to, I'm going to grab this and bring this up. So now what we need to do is select both of these. And now we'll go up to modify and we are going to subtract. I'll try it again. So we have both selected, and I'm going to hit subtract. Oh, I got too excited. Okay, so now we have our anchor taken out of the refuse to sink. And I see that someone had asked if we want to do something with rhinestones. Yeah, I can definitely do something with rhinestones. It's basically the same as you would do any other design. So after I show you this one, I'll definitely show you a rhinestone design with this as well. Why did it do that? I'm not exactly sure why sometimes it stalls. I don't know. So I tend to be a little bit impatient. So I kind of just press buttons until I get what I want. But I know sometimes when you do a subtract, always make sure you want the shape that is coming out. Make sure that that is on top. So you just right click it and make sure you send that to front. So like always, when we do that, it did ungroup all of that. And so we need to go over here to object and group that together. So now we have this as one shape and we have our anchor. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it, and now I just need to align it on there. So I'm just going to set it kind of, close by and then zoom in. So I just grab my select zoom, and I have this big one, this large piece, and I'm just using my arrows to kind of find the right way to make it fit. So probably need to bring it this way just a little bit. So now I don't really see any spaces. This looks pretty good. So there you have it. You have your your words and your anchor right in there. And really, it was just a few steps. So there's a couple ways you could cut this. You could always just take this part out, you know, take this out, cut the anchor, like put it in the corner, cut the anchor, and then reverse. I always like to just cut by color. So you would just go to your cut settings. And do you all know how to cut by color, or is that something you've done before? Yes, yes, great. So I'll just show you one more time just to refresh your memory. And if you know how to do it, then you can sit there and think about how smart you are. So we go over here to our cut settings. And in the Designer Edition, we do have our advanced settings. So we go down to advanced and fill color. So you would first select, like if I always like to cut the word first. That's a personal preference. It really makes no difference. So I would just go ahead and uncheck the blue. And so now you see my cut line around the pink. And I would send that to the cutter, no problem. And then we have our anchor there in the blue. So that's how you would send that. Hold on one second, you all. So that's how you do a basic vinyl knockout. I do have a couple of you who are asking for a rhinestone one, but I don't know. Do you want to see a rhinestone one? Do you think I should? I don't know about it. What do you think? What do you want to see? Yes, yes. Great. Well, I'll go ahead and show you a rhinestone one. Rhinestones rock, yes. So Beth says, okay, we'll beg. So basically, if you want to do a rhinestone one, it's just one more step again to this. I'm going to go ahead and start a new design. I'll start from the beginning and show you. Oh, I don't want that. I want to do a new one. So do any of you do any orders for brides-to-be? Bride-to-bees? Brides-to-be? One of those. Well, I know I got married about 1.5 years ago. Nick, answering your questions, he is actually my husband. We do work in the same place. Nick works in the call center. So if you ever call in for helping you talk to Nick, that's my husband. So you can just kind of say hi to him and let me know if he's ever mean to you on the phone. I'll come back and talk to him about it. So, so one of the things is I am in my 20s, and one of the big phrases I hear a lot, I personally don't say it. I don't really like it, but they say wifey. So a lot of girls like to wear shirts that say future wifey. So I'm going to go ahead and make one like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just like the last one, I'm going to use impact. If you do have a block text, that's fine. Impact is just something we kind of use here a lot at the Rhinestone World. So I'm going to go ahead and we have our future. Do it again. And this is 2 words, so it's nice because you have to modify too many things. So now we have future wifey. I'll stretch this out. And here you go. Future. And now I want to modify that spacing. So go over here. I don't think you actually have to highlight it, but I like to do it to be safe. It's kind of like a, I don't know, a thing for me. And then go ahead and stretch out this wifey. And these should be pretty close in size. And they're about the same length of word. So go ahead and stretch that. And now I want to bring this character spacing in. Oops. So we have our wifey. And then go ahead and bring this up pretty close. So we'll have that. And then let me look at this. You might have to bring down a little bit just to make it easier on you weeding. So that U will get you. So we go over there and we have this and that. And then we'll group this together. So now we have our future wifey. Go ahead and do it in pink. A lot of brides like pink. It was actually one of my wedding colors. So we have our future wifey, and then once again, I just went ahead and put a shape in my library. So I have my engagement ring over here. So now we can go ahead and grab our ring. We'll stretch it out. And I'm going to rotate it a little bit more. And this one I am doing with rhinestones, so I don't want to stretch it out all the way because I want room for my stones. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. And I'm actually going to go ahead and center this ring in the design. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this and align center. So I wasn't that far off. It wasn't that bad. So now I'm going to grab this ring and I want to make my rhinestone outline. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to just make an offset. So offset. Now I have that. I'm going to go ahead and apply it. So now we have our ring and our offset. So I'm going to move this actually to make it easier to work with this offset because I actually just want the outside. So I'm going to go grab this, and right now this is a compound path because you see you have these shapes inside of it. So I'm going to go to object and release compound path. So now I have all of these deselected, and you could either click all of these and hold down shift. I don't know why, but I like to just grab the shape I want and then select all of these with my select tool and delete it. I think it's easier for me. It's all a matter of preference. I just want to show you a different way that I don't see many people doing it, so I always like to do it that way. So now I have my outline, and now I need to make it into rhinestone. So I'll go over here to my rhinestone panel, and I'll hit edge. So SS10 is like the standard rhinestone size. You could do another size. Like I'll go down here and I'll just do SS6 just to do a little bit different. So now I have my rhinestone outline and I'm all set with that. So I'm going to pull this out of the way for now. And I am going to grab my design, and now I'm going to put my ring back on here just like I had it before. And I am going to center that. So now basically the steps that I did for a knockout, you'll just do it again with the stones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this and go to my modify and crop it. Oh, I forgot to copy it. No one reminded me. Copy and paste. I don't know what the world would be like without undo. All of my things would be pretty bad. So go over here. And now I'm going to grab it and I'm going to crop it. I'm going to group this, turn it blue again to make it easier on me. And I'll go ahead and just move this up here to make it easier to work with. So now we have our future wifey. And I'm going to copy this again because I have one more step to do. And I'll just pull this out of the way. So now we have our future wifey. And, oh, sorry, I got ahead of myself. And now I'm going to subtract. Now we have all of this. And then we are going to group this. And then, Beth, I see your question. I'll get to it when I get to that step. Don't worry. And so now I'm just going to bring this down. And because this was done first, our ring will be on the bottom layer. See how it goes behind that? So I'm just going to select this wifey and zoom in right here. And bring this over and just set it right. There we go. So we have our future wifey. Looks pretty good. I'm just going to bring this up here. So now we have, oops. So now we have our two right here. And I'm going to grab this one. And this isn't, and I'm going to bring this to the front. See how it works back here? I really want to see the stones in front. So I'm going to go ahead and right click this and bring this to front. So now, this happens sometimes. Sometimes if you do bring to front, it decides it doesn't want to do it. So I'll just grab the other one and I'm going to bring this to back. So now it will be on top. I don't really know why sometimes it decides not to participate. It's certainly not ideal, but you know, I guess with technology you have to make things work, right? So I'll go over here to align and I'm going to center that. And it is an offset off the stones, so off the ring, so it'll be centered right around it. So now we have all of this selected. We have our stones set in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ring out of here. I don't need it. And so now I have my stones, my future wifey. And just like with the vinyl, I would go in here and grab both of these. And I'll go to my modify tools and I will hit subtract. Oops. So I need to grab these stones. I probably need to make it a compound. Oh, you know, it's all in fun. So what I'm going to do, that should have worked. I don't know why. Took out the inside. Well, I guess, sorry guys, I don't know why this is being so difficult. I know, Beth said I hate when stuff doesn't work for me too. To be honest, I'm not really sure why it's not going, but let me see. Let me see if I can figure it out for you guys. Let me, do you see that? It got upset with me. Okay, I guess we have to wait a minute. Can you still hear me? Okay. That wasn't right. Sorry, guys. Let me go back. So let me try one more thing. Now I have my stones. I'm going to ungroup the stones. I tried to do something new. That's why. So go over here to our stones, and we're going to release rhinestones. So now let's go ahead and group these real quick so I can center it. Keep calm and click on. Yes. So go ahead and now I'm going to select my rhinestones here. I'll go back to my rhinestone tool, release rhinestones. So now, I'm going to ungroup it. So now I have all these stones here. So now it should work. So go over here to my modify, and now we're going to subtract. There we go. So now we have our rhinestone outline around future wifey. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to group it. And now I'm going to bring my ring down here. Yeah, so I'm going to copy it actually. Copy that. I only need the ring though. Let me delete that. So I'm going to go ahead and select my ring and my future wifey. So I held down shift, so I don't have this stone selected. So I'm going to go ahead and, oops, sorry guys. So we have all of that. Let me see, I think I did this in the wrong order. But basically we have our future wifey here. Let me bring this down. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to try a different one. I'm going to offset this one. I'm going to basically redo the steps. I think I just did it in the wrong order. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to go ahead, grab that. Object, release compound path. And now we have this, and I am going to make my stones. Oh, I forgot to select it. Sorry, guys. And we have our SS6 stones. So we're going to go over here. We're going to bring it around our future wifey that's already been taken out. And I'm going to send this to the back. Okay, so now we have our stones on top. And now we want to put that there. And we're going to ungroup these stones. Oh, I need to release them. So I have all of these together. And we're going to go ahead and subtract again. There we go. So now we have our future wifey with our ring knocked out and our stones. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. Make sure you grab all of it. And we're going to go ahead and take this. And I actually forgot to make a copy of our stones, but that's okay because I saved my ring over here. So we're just going to make the stones again. Sorry I went a little bit out of order, guys. You know, that's the beauty of doing live webinars. Sometimes I forget things because I'm too excited to show you things. And I forget to do certain things. So I'm really sorry about that, guys. I promise I do know what I'm doing. So go ahead and make the stones again for you. And now we have it. We have our SS6. So now we have, oh, that's weird. Some of our stones didn't knock out. Well, I apologize for that, but I do believe, you know, it'll work. Sorry about that. So now I have our ring and our knockout ring. And I'm just going to center that in there. Zoom in. So we'll just bring this over a little bit. And then we will grab our stones. And I'm just using my arrows to find the correct spot. Yeah, I can't select all and do this the center feature. I don't know. I like using my arrows. I guess I'm weird that way. But yeah, you can go ahead and do your center feature. And it should all work. So now you have your stones on there and you have your knockout. So then again, you would just do like before, you would just send a silhouette. Oh, you would do your cut settings and then go ahead to your advanced settings. I would recommend too, because you are going to cut sticky flock now, or basically anytime you do cut things with vine or whatever, I always try to make sure I do my box around it. That way it's easy to weed. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this and do I released my mouse too soon. So I'm going to grab my box and make a box around here. So let's say you are cutting this in your vinyl and then your rhinestones. You go ahead and you go to your cut settings, and under advanced, you'll go by fill color. And so this box doesn't have a fill color. So when you send your pink over, then it would cut the pink line and it would cut the no fill color. So it does include this box, but it also includes your rhinestones. So with the box and the rhinestones selected, since both of those don't have a fill color, they'll do all of that and they'll cut out. So that's kind of how you would do a knockout design with rhinestones. This is recorded, so you can go back later online and watch me fumble around and then eventually get it. So that'll be online. Hold on one second, guys. So that'll be online. I did see that some of you got the message about the seminar 20 minutes after it started. Did any of you get that push notification from the app late? Also, I'll use this opportunity to ask you all, do you guys have the app? Do you guys have that? Okay, so some of you do, some of you don't. So I would recommend, if you do have your Android phone or your iPhone, I would recommend getting our app. We do put some special things on there. We send out notifications, and a lot of times if I am doing a promotion, I will put it on the app first before we put it on our Facebook page. So I like to give our customers a nice incentive to have our app. And we are working on trying to do some bonuses that are on it. I do know we are working on some fun sales that will only be on the app. I don't want to give too many details about it, but if you do participate in this sale, you could potentially get a pretty good deal on some things. So did any of you have any other questions about knockout designs or anything like that? I know I kind of fumbled around a little bit. I'm really sorry about that, you all, but do you have any other questions, or did you want me to go over something again? So it looks like you guys got it. We all learned something today, I guess, with our rhinestones. I've always done, the reason why I fumbled around, I've always done rhinestones around the outside, which is definitely a lot easier. So it's like, it's better to do it. Will this be a free download? I don't know. Do you guys want this as a free download? You want me to put that up for you all? Is that something you would be interested in? Yes, yes. Oh, sure. Maybe. Sure. So I'll go ahead and I will fix this up for you to make it a little bit easier on you, and then I'll put it up as a free download for you all. I think I can put it in the deal section, and this will be a silhouette only download. So if you do have any friends that are using the Corel Draw and Stone Wizard, it won't be able to go up in their program. This is kind of a silhouette only thing. But I'll put this up. I'll try to get it up by the end of the day. If not, check back on Monday and I'll get that for you. And so there, you can always change the line color when cutting it. You can cut by line color as well. It's up to you. So before I let you go, I just wanted to show you a couple things. I know I've been showing in our webinars our website, but I just wanted to show you again. Our website is, redesigned. We did make it easier on you. And I just want to bring your attention over to our calendar again. We have all of our webinars over here, but also our show schedule. So if you're looking for our show or seminars, you'll see that. I did see that what some of you asked if I would change the stones to SS10. Would that be easier on you all? Would you rather have it SS10 or do you want SS6? Because either way I could do that. I know you have a lot more stones in 10. So it looks like, how about both? Beth, you're so funny. How about I give you SS10, and if you like the 6, you can use the skills. You can use my tricks today to do that. So we'll go ahead over, and I'll change that for you. But over here, I wanted to show you for May, we have a TRW lounge over here on the 27th. And if you notice, we have it at 7:30 p.m. And we are in Florida, so we're on East Coast time. I know a lot of you have said, oh, I really wish I could go to the lounge, but I'm at work, or we do them at 10:30 in the morning. So I know personally I would not want to go to a lounge at 7:30 a.m. on the other coast. So Rudy and I got together and we did schedule a later lounge. I'm not sure if Matt will be in it, but Rudy and I will definitely be in there. So you could talk about some of your software questions. Rudy did teach our silhouette webinars before I came, so he does know the software pretty well. And I like to come into the lounge, because I am the marketing manager here at the Rhinestone World. So I like to answer your questions on how do you market your business on social media, and great giveaways to do, and how do I interact with my customers. So I really encourage you to show up in the webinar, if anything, just to put a face to my name if you haven't seen me in any of the lounges before or videos. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I had a really great time with all of you today, and thanks for being so understanding with me messing up the rhinestones a little bit. I guess that's part of the fun of doing something live, right? I've been practicing all morning, but I still got turned around. So I hope you all have a great weekend. I know it's warming up across the country, so go ahead and have a good weekend. Have lots of fun, and we'll see you again sometime soon. So we'll talk to you later, crew.